what is on your mind? I'm just waiting for you to tell me, baby. Heal my bed, so I know I'm on your mind. Bell to microphone, wake weeku, get one more in one more time. For your touch so very much that I need when you're around me. The way you make me feel, the way your love is real. Oh no, no, my darling, me only my darling. He touched my bed, so I know that I got you, baby.
Talofa Utah, welcome in. We're already cracking jokes. Welcome into Budah's Lounge. I'm Big Budah. I'm the host of Budah's Lounge. I've been part of the Utah media landscape for the last 20-something years. We're continuing our conversation. Shout out to coming to you live from Lake House Studios. Shout out to CJ Drisdom. If you're looking for a space, though, you can have your creativity flourish. 960 West Lavoie. Just come on down to Taylorsville. It's only $75 a month. You can stop drinking kava and come and learn on how to create. Don't laugh here, Loti. Don't laugh. What we do every Wednesday night is we invite people in, pillars of the community, people that are doing things extraordinary, but it affects all of us little people. Tonight is a 2-hour special. Our first hour, I'll introduce you to our guests, but our second hour will kick off with our entertainment group, Scrumptious Entertainment, the dancers. Yes, it's Loti. It's the closest to an all Polynesian male dance review that I could find.
It just sounds delicious.
It's scrumptious. It's scrumptious, not delicious. We are not calling grown ass men delicious, but we call them scrumptious. No, they're very, very talented, and they're using this vehicle dance as a way to share our culture and our tradition. So we'll have them on after you. So you're You're the appetizer. But you come with main event topics because there's a lot of things we got to talk about. Ladies and gentlemen, our first guest this evening is a longtime friend of mine. We go way back. He's legendary in the Pacific Islander community. He's been a longtime educator who recently just retired as a principal in the Salt Lake District. Salt Lake City School District. I didn't even know you had two different names. I just thought the last name was Moala, and then I looked up Liava'a.
Yes.
I'm like, man. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome in our educator tonight, retired school principal, Haloti Moala Liava'a.
In fact, I can share with you how that name changed.
I was just about to ask, in the beginning, we like to ask people to explain their life. So we're going to go right into it. Tell us your family background. Introduce yourself to us.
My name is Haloti Moala Liava'a. My mother's name is Kaloni Sekona, who is a daughter of Fine Sekona and Makareta Brown. And my dad's name is Tevita Moala Liava'a, who is a son of Moala Liava'a from Havakatolo in Tonga. And the mother, his mother is Lupe Vunipola from Kolovai in Tonga. And so when I was growing up, I grew up as Haloti Moala. See, when we were trying to file our papers to come to to leave Tonga to come to the States,
okay,
I had an uncle who had an affair with the princess.
Uh-oh.
His last name.
Wow, you go right to the T.
Dude,
wow.
And let me tell you, this is interesting.
It is.
He had an affair with the princess, and his last name is Liava'a.
Okay.
And so when we were trying to file our passport, if we would have filed it as Liava'a, we wouldn't have been able to leave.
No, those are the guys that sleep with the princess. No, stay there.
Yeah, they're not going anywhere.
No, well, we keep those guys here. Yeah.
And so when we filed for our passports, we filed it under my grandfather's first name. And so that's how we ended up with Haloti Moala.
Here they are, King. I got them. They're right here. I'm just kidding.
And so some of my siblings go under Moala, and some of my siblings go under Liava'a. But it wasn't
It
wasn't until I became a citizen of the United States that I changed it back to what it should have been.
I love how you also put in that you're a citizen, so that he can't touch you.
And so that's how Haloti Moala became Haloti Liava'a.
Hi, cousins. Yes, we're talking to Haloti. A lot of our conversation tonight will be about education, but I want to take everyone back down memory lane. You were one of the original Tongan families that lived in Inglewood.
That's right.
But you didn't start in Inglewood. Tell me about life in California before coming to Utah. What was that like growing up as a Tongan in the 70s and the 80s?
Man, I grew up in a little town called Lenox. And so I was, I went to elementary school there, I went to junior high school there, and I went to high school. The first year, my freshman year, was at Lenox High School. Man, we just wanted to fit in.
Did they know what Tongans were?
No, they just knew Hawaiians. And so every time we would tell
you
everybody.
guys were Hawaiians too, huh?
Everybody was Hawaiian. Nobody knew what a Tongan was.
Right, or Samoan.
But they did hear the Samoans, not as much about the Tongan community, but they did know more about the Samoans. And
Bro, they just thought we were from Somalia. No, for real. You know how it was. Like, where you guys from? Samoa. Man, some big-ass Somalians, dude. Dang.
And so when we would go around and try to, tell them, when we would first see, because the schools at Lenox High School, and the community of Lenox was mostly Hispanics, Mexicans there. Okay. I mean, it was about 90+%, Hispanic community. And so everywhere we went, we were like, man, that's the biggest Mexican I've ever seen from Lenox High School.
You guys were Mexicans and Hawaiians, I know.
Yep. And so it was hard, but we wanted to fit in. We didn't realize how much our parents were working because they were always gone. And so we had to find friends and people to hang out with in order just to spend time. And that's who we hung out with, just with friends, because mom and dad were always working.
So did you guys automatically join clubs with non-Tongans because there weren't many of you? So let's say there's 4 Tongans, right? Did you guys just hang around just the 4 of you guys everywhere?
Yeah. Well, in Lenox at the time, they had, like I said, it was about 90+% Hispanic. And most of the, when you say clubs, it was actually gangs. Lenox 13, Sureños were all there.
Gangs?
Yeah, there were gangs. There were gangs. And
was that an attraction to you back then, to join up in a gang? Was there a need to protect?
what attracted me to them was because I always saw them wearing the same colors. They were hanging out at the time. And, there was some that was actually, that I could actually see they were driving nice cars. They were, having, money. They had all the women.
Oh, so it kind of caught your eye.
It did catch my eye. And we started thinking, hey, maybe we ought to start something that, we can just call something our own. And so,
I'm just ask because I know the history. You don't want to say it. I'm going to ask. I know Haloti as one of the 6 founding members of the TCG gang. Is that true? And tell me that story.
But, and that started out in 1980, 82 in April. And so just, 6 friends, we were just close as can be. And we were, a few of the guys, the original 6, they were relatives of mine. And we just wanted to start something that we can call our own and, just be something that we could recognize and be a part of as Polynesians. And so we got together and said, hey, let's start a gang. And so we started coming up with all these different, different names.
Okay, hold up. What were some of the other previous names that you guys did not choose? Instead of TCG, what were some of the other names?
We started out with International Tongan Crips.
It would be ITS.
International Tongan Style.
That would have not worked. Yeah. Okay. What other one?
We are Sons of Tonga. Like Sons of Samoa.
Oh, SOT SOTs. No, that could never work either. No.
And then because Crips were so, it was a big deal at the time.
Yeah.
We decided to go with Tongan Crip Gangsters.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
TCG was born.
TCG was born
in
Lenox, California.
Only because I understand the rules of some of these things. Who are the other 5 founding members along with yourself?
Man, one of the original guys, his name is Ulu Fagatou Fifita, who's a close relative of mine.
Okay. Of course.
Yeah.
We're all cousins.
We're all cousins. Yeah. We have a kid named Moala Ngāue, and his brother named John Ngāue. And then we had a kid named Phil Windy and his brother. And his brother, his name escapes me, but Philwini or Hala, H-A-L-A, was what we called them. And so those were the 6. Those were the 6 that started.
Okay, so you start this gang, TCG. Obviously, I don't know, not obviously, but what was the intention? You wanted something your own, but were you trying to be like the Black Panthers as well and do something in the community? Were you trying to give back, or y'all just wanted to hang out? Was it a kava? Were you guys drinking kava?
No, we weren't drinking kava. We just started it for the base of, just because we wanted something that we can call our own to just hang out.
Okay.
It was just a bunch of guys that wanted to hang out and have something we can call ourselves at. We had no idea when we attached the name Crip and Gangster to it. It was going to take, it was like wildfire. It was going to take a life of its own. But we didn't know that at the time because we were all like 14, 15 years old at the time, in Inglewood.
You didn't plan for it to become what it is today, is what you're saying?
Had no idea. Had no idea. In fact, I asked myself, sometimes I said, what in the world did we create?
Yeah, y'all created a monster.
We did create a monster.
Y'all created a monster.
But fortunately for me, once we started it, I was only there for a few months, and then my parents were going to move to Tonga. So I moved from Lenox to the next town, which is Inglewood, and I started going to Inglewood High School.
Wait, hold up. Anybody who knows anything about Inglewood, so you just established yourself as a Crip.
Yep.
And now you have to go to Inglewood High School?
Inglewood High School, nothing but Bloods there.
Okay, let's take a break here. I got to ask you about that because we will get to the education part, but your love of community, you want to start something, TCG is where you started. You get sent over to a blood school, and that's what we'll pick up when we come back. How does a Crip go over to a blood school and actually go to school? We'll find out when we come back.
Yep, that's a great question.
That's crazy.
Get it. I'm ready, bro. What's good? What's up, man? Yeah, it's gonna be a good night. Get it.
AOV, ain't that Daisy right there?
Damn, it is. I haven't seen her in a minute, yo.
Hey, I heard she was old boy.
Shoot, I bet she's still thinking about me, though.
pay the bills? Just tell me, I need to know.
Trying to get back to you, baby. Keep it on the wraps for you, baby. Pick up this life for you, baby. I pay for your time, you be texting me crazy. I know I zip in a pad for me, baby. Won't you make a thing clap for me, baby? No, I said I'd be back for you, baby. Instead, I'd be out on these tracks going crazy. Oh, ooh. You couldn't wait when you got you one. 30 is square, nigga, not as fun. You see me on TV, you waiting for me. But you know my life, I be on the run. But how I come home to a married woman? You told me you away, you ain't hold me down. Night out with your girls, it's your go to see me. Wrecking your home when I'm broken down. Late night, drunk texting you. Wanna wake up next to you. High sex from 9 to 7. Feel like phone flex to you. Spinning around on the beat. Think your man is on me. Telling me you love me, baby. But you don't belong
Are
to
you
me.
still here? Are you still up? I need to know what's going on. Has he been cool? Is he too much? I feel your pain, but tell me some. Do you still love him? Do you still feel? Do you know the difference between fake and what's real? Is he playing games while you pay the bills? Just tell me, I need to know. Feel my love. Tell me how you feel, my love. Do you really feel my love?
Alofa, and well, we're throwing T's up now because we got one of the original founding members of TCG. I want to start. Welcome into Everyday People. It's Budah's Lounge. We are coming to you live from Lake House Studios. Thank you so much to CJ, 960 West Lavoie. Come on through in Taylorsville. We're talking with the recently retired educator, Haloti Moala with us, sharing a part of his life story before we get into some questions about education, academia, and maybe the fight of the Polynesian student, maybe even the Polynesian educator. But as we're learning about it, I wanted to ask you this part of your life where you transfer from Lennox. You started a gang. You like blue. Your color scheme is blue. You get transferred over to Inglewood. They don't like your color scheme over there. They look at like, hey man, what's going on? What was life like for you going to a school whose extracurricular affiliation with red was very prevalent?
Yep. We went from, or I went from, we stabbing and crabbing, we still ain't red rags. All the way.
I can't believe he went all the way back. He went all the way back. Oh my gosh, Loti.
Hey, but one of the things that I've always been known as, because thank goodness for my parents that I wasn't stupid.
Yeah.
And I wasn't dumb, and I was smart enough to realize that I was the only Crip in a red community, in a family. Nothing. Inglewood was about Inglewood family. It was about Pyru. It was about
bounty hunters
blood.
and all those other
all
blood
those.
gangs.
And so, fortunately for
please
me,
don't get mad if I don't mention your gang name. Please, I'm not a gang member. I call 911. I'm not a gang member. Sorry.
Fortunately for me, I had some athleticism, so I was able to, because I played, freshman football at Lennox High School,
Yeah.
and then when I transferred over to Inglewood High School, I was still a freshman. It was the last quarter at Inglewood, and then that summer, they said, they had football tryouts, and so I went out and tried out for football, and because of my athleticism, I went there and played for the varsity team, and immediately, the gangs and everything, that all just left.
Really?
That all just left.
You didn't look back. You didn't look back and see them riding on their lowriders, their gold chains.
Oh, we would see it all the time. I would see it all the time, but the love for football and athleticism,
Really?
that just took over. I had a why now. I had a why of why I wanted to do things. Because the reason why I moved to Inglewood was because my mom and dad were moving back to the islands. And
You were Ricky in Boys in the Hood. You were Ricky from Boys in the Hood. You really did not. Maybe your heart was in the right place when you started it, but for you to have that maturity and say, this lifestyle is not going to be conducive with me growing up and becoming whatever my mom told me I was going to be.
That's right.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, because I love the cars, the money that they were driving, the women that they had. I mean, that was always in the back of my mind. But my mom mom's words when she said before she went to Tonga and moved back, she says, Loti, be humble and do something with your life so you can raise your own family. And that always stuck with me. And that always stuck with me, even though I had the love for hanging out with guys and doing that stuff. I knew that football was an avenue for me to get out. And that's exactly what had to happen for me, was for me to get a scholarship and leave that life behind me. So once I left, I mean, I had an afro that was about a foot long. And once I left all that stuff, I had a new, I cut it, had a new start, new beginning.
Now, can I ask you, was part of that because maybe you don't know what you don't know, obviously, but realizing somebody's giving you a shot, and this is my key to freedom? I can leave. Did that realization happen to you with football? When did that happen? Was it during a touchdown? Was it when Dad came and watched you? When did you realize that, oh my gosh, football is my vehicle?
When my coach, his name is Bobby Hunter at Inglewood High School, because I played as a sophomore, started on the varsity team. He says, he said, Haloti, you got a chance to get out of this community, get out of the hood, and go do something with yourself. And that's when it started. Right after my sophomore year at Inglewood High School. Inglewood High School, for those of you that know, is about 99% black. In fact, all 12 of the defensive starters in my senior year had a D1 scholarship. That's how good we were. Can you
drop some names?
Oh man, Henry Green played receiver, quarterback at Stanford. We had a couple of kids. Three of us came from Inglewood to the University of Utah. Tyrone Calcody and Eric.
Tyrone's your year?
Yeah, Tyrone Calcody and Eric. Oh, what is it? We call him Chumley. Eric, man, I forgot his last name, but all three of us, in fact, that's how I ended up at Utah.
From Inglewood, wow.
The coach said, hey, if all three of you guys come, we'll give you guys all three a scholarship if you guys all come to Inglewood, to Utah.
Now, did you already know what you wanted to major in? Did you know that education was what you wanted to dive in there, or did you have to discover yourself like most of us freshmen going off to college?
Man, I love that question because when I came to Utah, the counselors and the coaches are going to make it the easiest major for you so you can stay eligible. And if I had to do it again, and every time somebody asks me, unless you want to get into social work with a psychology or a sociology degree, because that's going to be your passion, go for it. But my recommendation is to do something else. Get another degree that will, be able to, pay the bills for your family and have a comfortable lifestyle. Do something else, because when I was there, all the counselors say, hey, just go into sociology. And that was my background.
Because they wanted you as a football player, right?
They wanted me as a football player.
Got you.
I didn't know at the time, hey, they're paying for my college degree. It could have been in anything.
Anything you wanted.
It could have been anything.
But maybe a lot of the times, I can see it in my mind, any young athlete, right? We're talking about Tongan and Samoan athletes, and having a authoritative figure, right? A figure with authority over you saying, yeah, but you should do this.
Make it easy
if
for
you
yourself.
don't know anything, you're going to be like, well, why am I feel poto for it? Let me just go with what the teacher's telling me to do and do this.
And that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what I didn't have someone, as a mentor or something that I could look up to do something differently. My dream and aspirations was always to be an attorney. But I didn't go there because they said, no, do sociology because you'll be able to play and make things easier for you.
It was still happening even in your day. I remember growing up, they said, you could be anything you want. You could be a police officer, a lawyer, all right? And then they came to me and you could be a bouncer and a wrestler and,
Exactly.
Why can't I be a president?
Yeah.
Right? So a lot of those things look like it's still held through even in the time that you're going to college and trying to dictate on where you should be going and trying to earn a degree and get a job. Yeah. So where did the love of educating and as a teacher, academia, where did that come from?
In a way, I had the opportunity to create a company called United Community Services along with my wife and my brother-in-law. And so we did that, and we started that company in 1994. And so after that, we were able to, to move on from that company. And then I retired. at a very young age. But then I went over to visit Horizonte, which is the alternative program for the Salt Lake City School District. And James Anderson and David Martinez were there. And so I went in and I just went to go visit them. They asked me, and the principal, James, said, "Hey, what are you doing now?" I said, "Man, I'm retired. I'm kind of bored. It's been 4 years now." And he goes, "Why don't you come and teach?" And so I said, "Yeah, that'd be great." Then he asked me, "Do you have your bachelor's degree?" I said, "Yeah, my bachelor's." He goes, "Let's go ahead and put you through so you can start working and teaching adults ESL classes, how to learn English."
Okay.
And then he says, "But and then at the same time, let's have you go through the alternative route to licensure, so you can start teaching high school." I said, "Perfect." So I went in and got that stuff done, and got my alternative route to licensure. I got licensed. So my first day at work, here I am thinking that I'm going to be teaching adults ESL, learning to speak English. I go in there the first day. He puts me at a program which is located in Rose Park for high school kids. For high school kids.
How nervous were you?
Yeah, oh man, I had no idea what I was going to be teaching. I was put out there. Fortunately for me, there were 2 other teachers at that site, and they were able to help me with the curriculum and doing all these different things.
Rough start, but look at you now.
Oh man! And from that point on, I saw a lot of our kids come through, and I said, "Man." Remember, this is an alternative program, and so a lot of them would come through, and they would just be struggling, and I said, "Man, I can do something with these kids. I can help them. I can help them realize that education is important."
I want to take a break here. Yes, this is a very pivotal point. I want to take a break here so we can collect our thoughts. We'll play a song, our engineer Cindy, really quick. When we come back, I would love, so now that you're in it, you find this love of academia, you find this love of education. I want to ask about the obstacles that are in front of our students and that are in front of our teachers, Pacific Islanders specifically. What's stopping us from coming to become teachers? Are there opportunities? Those kind of things. All right. Yep. Don't move us. We'll be right back. We're live from Lake House Studios.
I'll ask you if you ride. You tell me if you roll it.
Easy as it's some nice stuff.
Yeah. You hit that destination, and I'll keep it in rotation if you want to. Yeah, only if you want to, though. Yeah. Let's take a trip on the block. Oh, knucklehead fools. Got the Camry and we riding till the sun go down. Getting high in the morning. Ooh, yeah. Let's take a trip, don't stop. We never running out of juice. Yeah, we got a think fast. Money don't last. So what you know about the crew? What you wanna know about the rebellion clip? That division when I hit that belly. This collision gonna hit like cash. I'm telling everyone we stick like family. I still believe in a moment's time. Whatever happens, it happens, I don't mind. I got a reason for all my tries. I got a reason for why I ride. I'll ask you if you ride. You tell me if you rollin', if you want to. Yeah, you hit that destination, and I'll keep it in rotation if you want to. Yeah.
What I make now in the day used to make in a month. Scrounge for change, now I break down apes in a blunt. Yeah. Making plays daily as I stay in the cut. Really started from the bottom, now the paver is up. Highs for the low, tag never raising it up. Squad getting to these checks like we play for the Bucks. Dressed bummy, pocket straight, never wasting my funds. Loud on deck, push heavy like I'm weighing a ton. Got it out the mud, no handouts, never taking shortcut. But I'm on a fast route, used to nickel and dime. In the present, getting racks now. Really in the field, I ain't talking about no camp out. On the front line, duck it one time. Grind, rain and sunshine, gotta get it, no excuses. Zeke and Josh hitting with that 90s flow exclusive. What you gon' do? Roll with me, baby, only if you want to.
I'll ask you if you ride. You tell me if you rollin', if you want to. Yeah, you hit that destination, and I'll keep it in rotation if you want to. I'll ask you if you ride. You tell me if you rollin', if you want to. Yeah.
Talofa, Utah, every day, people. It's Buddha's Lounge. Welcome back in. Shout out to Josh Wawa and ZK Zeke. If you can hear us behind there, man, chin up, man, head up. We don't condone any of the things, but, we still care about the person. If we can help one person through this podcast, then we've done our job. we're hanging out with recently retired principal and educator, Haloti Moala. He's sharing his life experience leading up to his life of becoming an educator. We're at the point now where you figured out they're going to pay for my school. I need to go do something to give back and also make money because, there's nothing wrong with making money. Anybody who says that they're just in it for the goodness of your heart, I don't know how you stay rent-free, man. I'm just saying, teach me your kung fu. But let's pick up. So now you're at the University of Utah. You're learning the tools of the trade, everything you need to become an educator. When do you decide that that's actually what you want to do? Because a lot of times we go get a degree and we're like, you know what? Nah, man, I'm just going to go drive a cab, or I'm going to go work at a warehouse, or this is not, I just did this to make my parents happy, right? When did you realize that, nah, this degree is my degree and I'm going to go get a job in my degree?
That's right. When I was at the University of Utah, the counselors, the coaches, everybody that was there said, hey, just go in and, get a sociology degree, because it was easy.
Yeah.
It was easy so you can stay eligible in order for you to stay on the field. Because, I didn't think that I was going to have to work. My whole thought process was, I'm going to go to the NFL, so I just needed to be eligible to be on the field so I can show the NFL coaches and the NFL, people that I can play in the NFL. And that was always my dream. Right. And I knew I was going to get there. But, unfortunately, I got hurt. My freshman year, got hurt my junior year. And so the dreams of going to the NFL was just knocked out. That wasn't a reality anymore. And so I had to do something. Even though, sociology was something that was given to me and told, hey, just do it because, you can stay eligible. I really had to take it seriously because I didn't really take it. I just did enough just to be on the field, C average. And so when I got hurt, I realized, hey, I needed to, so when I was hurt, I took 19 credits, and that's huge. I took 19 credits for that quarter, and I ended up getting a 3.9. And
okay.
And I found out, hey, I can do this.
I'm pretty smart.
Yeah. I'm pretty smart. And so I started to believe in myself, and I took it seriously after that. I still was able to play my last 2 years, but more importantly, I was able to play in the classroom and make sure those things were done. And
Did y'all hear that? Play in the classroom. Let's go.
Yeah. And so, I was able to graduate on time. And then when I graduated, my first job was a probation officer for the state of Utah. Mm-hmm. And then once I became a probation officer, I found out, man, there's not much money in being a probation officer. But we would refer some of the kids to programs, to private providers for the state of Utah, and they would take care of it. And I started to see how much money they were getting.
Right.
And so my brother-in-law and I, he was a tracker for a company called Intermountain Youth. And so I got together with him and with my wife. We started a company called United Community Services. And it was a conflict of interest with the state of Utah being a probation officer, right, with me starting a company that would serve their population. And so they told me, either you stop doing United Community Services or you leave. And so I said, I left. After 5 years of being a probation officer, we left and started United Community Services, and it's we've been in that. My wife has been in that field since, and so went from there. And we retired because we were making very good money with United Community Services. Yeah. So I retired, and after about 4 years, went back to James Anderson and Dave Martinez at Horizonte, and that's where I wanted to do something different. So I got into
you weren't even going there expecting to teach. You were just going there to have a
visit.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the kids that we were working with in the program went to Horizonte, and one of the people, some of the people I was working very closely with was Susan MacArthur, who's retired, Dave Martinez, who's retired, and James Anderson, who's retired. And so I went to just to see how they were doing because we had such a great relationship with kids. We're going to Horizonte.
Man, I want to. In my mind right now, I want to ask you about the kids, right? Because I told you this before the mics came on. My dad and my mom were educators too, and they always believed, they instilled this in me. They always taught me that there's no such thing as a stupid student, as a dumb student. We have tons of lazy students, but I don't ever want to hear you say that a kid is dumb or a kid is stupid, because that's not the case. They're teachable. You the teacher, you got to find the way to get to the student. That's what they would always tell me. What are the obstacles besides the gangs, besides technology and all of this? If your focus is to get straight A's, to get good grades, what are some of those obstacles still plaguing the Pacific Islander student?
I wonder if there was a study that's done on the students that are thriving, the Polynesian students. I'm willing to bet that it's because they have parental support. They have parental support that's that's pushing them, that's encouraging them, that's telling them, hey, there's something bigger and something better for you, going to school. Unfortunately, we have a lot of our Polynesian communities and parents that have to work 2 and 3 jobs just to make ends meet and provide shelter, provide food, provide love at home for the kids.
Yeah.
And because they didn't have the background and education wasn't a priority, they don't push that for a lot of our kids. And so the kids just go and they find support elsewhere. And if they don't feel
Time
like
to help
going
people
school,
customize and save with
parents
Liberty
aren't
Mutual.
going and checking up on them. They're not going to the
my wallet.
teacher conferences. They're not checking up on the grades. And so these kids just kind of get lost. So
Jellyfish
that's
lighting
just
is a
one of many
color-changing
different
outdoor
things
lighting system.
that the kids fall through the cracks, just like you said.
With those programs, there are a lot of programs now available for that, but it sounds like if the parents are not involved, it makes it easier for the child to just, to fall through the cracks, right? Let me ask you about the role of the parent. Are we asking questions? When I was growing up, I felt like my parents didn't ask enough questions. And then as a parent, I caught myself being in the same rut, not asking questions. Is that one of the biggest problems that we have as Polynesian parents?
Especially the older parents.
Yeah.
They trust the system to raise their child without asking any questions because they know and believe that the system is doing what's in the best interest of their kids. So once they drop off the kids at school, they totally leave everything to the school, to the institution. And so, that's something that we've got to get away from. Our parents have got to get more involved. They got to start asking more questions. How is my kid doing? Are they doing their homework? Are they being assigned homework? What can I do at home? One of the things that we require, most of our parents to do is to read at least 20 to 30 minutes every single day with their kids.
Wow.
And a lot of that is not being done. And it's, and it's obvious because when they come to school, a lot of our kids are not reading. When I was at Horizonte, which is a high school, we had so many of our kids graduating, barely reading 3rd, 4th, or 5th at the 5th grade level. And that's appalling. And it's because we haven't been able to do our thing.
Man, my mind is kind of scrambled right now. Just third grade level.
3rd, 4th, 5th grade level. And they're graduating.
Okay. So there's something going on, right? We're missing a step. We're missing an appointment. We're missing this. Is part of it, because I remember this when I was a kid. Sometimes I would come across cousins or other Polynesian students. They knew their parents didn't really comprehend some things, and they would come home and feed my uncle and auntie a whole nother story.
That's right.
Is that still happening even to today?
Especially with the parents that don't really speak English.
Wow.
I'll tell you, when I was in elementary school, I got into a fight at school, and my mom had to come in and meet with the principal, and my mom only knew yes, and she always just nodded her head. That's all she knew. She didn't know how to speak English, and so I got to be the interpreter because they didn't have Tongan interpreters back then. And then my mom would ask me, what happened? And I said, I said it in Tongan. I said, the principal told me that I'm doing so good, I can have 3 days off. I got 3 days off. And my mom said, oh, yes. And, she just started smiling. And so a lot of times the kids get to be the ones to tell their parents a whole nother story.
Got you.
And it happens all the time.
Right in front of the principal. You sneaky man.
But the principal didn't speak Tongan, and so because I told my mom in Tongan.
Bro,
yeah,
I would not have the. Oh no, I could. Bro, more power to you, bro. More power to you.
It was nuts.
We have time to take one more break. Can we take one more break? All right. When we come back, I want to ask you about teachers. In recent years, there's been talk about teachers leaving the system, teachers not happy, teachers not this. I want to ask about teachers Pacific Island specifically? Is there room for Pacific Islander teachers, not just as teachers, but is there room to grow and become administrators? I want to ask Haloti that next after this song. Shout out to Scrumptious Entertainment. They're coming on after this, so don't move a muscle. We'll be right back. We still got Haloti here for another 30 minutes.
It's only been 30 minutes.
Life is on a spaceship. I don't know where it's headed. I miss our conversation. Yeah. The way you used to love me. Oh, you know, back on earth we had a good time. White wine, dancing underneath the starlight. Just you and I. Kiss me from your lips the first time. Mama, I can tell a lot, yeah. But I'd sacrifice my day for one day with you, yeah. Jah knows I would, yeah. One thing's for sure, even when the rain is falling, you know me in the middle of the storm. Somewhere out there in the flood, you know that I'm there, no umbrella. Cause the rain ain't always there. Through the rain our seas can roll. I hope you think of home. I'll never leave you lonely. I'm wishing on a spaceship. The tears don't drown you, baby. I know my destination. It's nowhere near you, it's killing me, for sure. You know, back on earth we made some good plans to romance. Make it speed up to slow down, no hesitance. I give you all of me, baby, and you give me all of you. Nobody minded, so I always knew that we would be inseparable. Baby, I know the times changed, but this heart's still the same, yeah. One thing's for sure, even when the rain is falling, you know me in the middle of the storm. Somewhere out there in the flood, you know that I'm there, no umbrella. Cause the rain ain't always there. Through the rain our seas can go. I hope you think of home.
Welcome back to Everyday People. It's Buddha's Lounge. I'm your host, Big Budah. We're here with Haloti Moala. Just recently retired school principal, and we're just picking his brain about all kinds of things, and also a couple of laughs along the way. Thank you so much for sharing your life with us. I wanted to ask about the status of academia and as far as the opportunities therein for Pacific Islander teachers. One thing I have heard about us as people, we're ma'afana. We have lots of ofa. We're happy people. We're understanding. We're kind. We're loud. We're boisterous. We're all these things, right? It could make a very good teacher. Is there enough room for Pacific Island teachers today? Is it a career? Can we still make it a career? Can you make a good living as a teacher for Pacific Islanders, Loti?
No, the answer is absolutely. You know, when we go through, and especially if I'm looking for a teacher, and this goes for most principals that are hiring and looking for teachers, we purposely look for people of color. And not just because they're people of color, but, you know, qualified people of color. And what I have found is that we just don't have the applicants. We don't have the Pacific Islanders applying. We don't have the Hispanic. We don't have the people of color applying for the positions.
You know, I'm so sorry. I have to interject here because here I am thinking. I'm wondering if I'm part of the majority thought process where I'm thinking, oh, they ain't giving no jobs to no Polynesian teachers. When the truth of the matter is, we're not applying.
We're not applying either because we don't have, Polynesians that want to be teachers, and then that's the reason why the application isn't there. Or we would love more people of color to be teachers, but they're just not there. I mean, they're not applying for the Salt Lake City school district. I don't know if they're applying, at the other districts.
Well, they're not coming to your school district, is what you're saying, right? Oh man,
we are craving for people of color to be teachers because the majority are the minority in the Salt Lake School District.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. As far as numbers, yeah.
Jeez. Okay. Let's because people might say, the old days, teachers don't make a lot of money. Is there? Let's just for conversation's sake, somebody that's watching the program and they are going to use the money as a determining factor. How much are teachers making? Maybe administrators even.
The teachers start off at about $50,000 a year with the Salt Lake School District, and each district is different. And so they start at about $50,000, and so each year you climb up the ladder and different steps depending on what lane you're at. Yeah. And we've got teachers now that have been there for 15, 20 years that are making close to $100,000 a year.
Jeez.
And so with administrators, it's just double that amount when they start. And so if you want to work with kids, if you want to get into education and want to make a good living, get into administration. And the track is that you usually become a teacher or a counselor. You do that for a few years. You get your master's in education and leadership. And then once you get that done, and then you can start applying for all these admin positions.
And when you go through, like you were saying, scholarships are very important because you got to remember they're paying for your school. They're paying for you to go do what you want to do. And once you realize that, you should really pick a class that you're going to like, or a career path, right? Did you talk to your counselor? What's some advice you would give to young college students right now if they're still trying to figure it out? Maybe they just heard us talk about academia. Should they go talk to a counselor? What's your recommendation?
Yeah. It's wonderful to get as much feedback and as much information as possible. Then find what your passion is and then make a decision on your own. Don't let someone else tell you where you should go. Make a decision on where you want to do, what your passion is, what you think you want to, what you would love doing. Like the saying that goes, if you love what you're doing, you're never working a day in your life.
Exactly.
Yeah. So make a decision, make an informed decision after you get all the information.
I want to take one more break, if that's okay. Yeah, do you want to take a break or we want to carry on? Yeah. Okay, we're going to continue to talk. Let me. We got 10 minutes left in our program. I wanted to ask, in your retirement, how does retirement look for you? Are you looking back? Are you getting an itch to come back to continue to work at the school district? How does retirement look for you, Loti?
School started yesterday for the Salt Lake City School District, and I thought, man, I'm gonna be depressed because I should be at school because that's where I've been for the last 13 years.
Most parents are happy school's back to school. You as a teacher, you're like, I'm missing out.
I was like, man, I was so happy where I'm at because, I'm able to go to where my wife's at, where my kids are all working. All my kids are working there, and I get to spend time with them. Oh, that's
cool.
Yeah, so I get to spend time with them, and it's a family business. And so that's where I've been spending my time, just to have something to do. And so I love it. I love what I'm doing now, and I'm getting to, because I've got some health issues, and so I'm able to spend more time with my grandkids, spend more time with my family, and so that's where my love and passion is now, is with my family.
Looking back, obviously we talked about you being one of the founding members of a very prominent, prolific street gang. It didn't start off that way. Your intentions were Black Panther-esque. You wanted to have a place to hang out. I wanted to see guys that look like me. How important was that? Did you have a realization that I'm in the right place, I'm doing the right thing? When did that realization have? Was it an encounter with a coworker, a student?
You know what? I love that you asked that because, when we have our back to school night at Escalante Elementary, where I was the principal, we usually have, food always brings our people together. So we will always have something for them to come eat, go visit with their teachers, get their class schedule, and then, go back home happy because they were fed. We had one of our students, I'll just call him Phil, Phil and Junior. Phil brought his cousin over, Junior, to the school because he wanted him to go to school with him. And so I walked out and Phil just happened to see me. And Phil says, "Hey, Junior, that's our principal. You can talk to him. He's like us. And that realization there was like, man, that hit the heart. And, you know, I get teary-eyed about that, and I love hearing that, because right then and there I realized, man, I'm being in this position. It makes them believe that they too can get in that position, because if I have done it, they can do it too. And so because I'm Polynesian, they're Polynesian, they can do it too.
What did that do for you? Hearing your students say that,
man, I felt like I was walking on air, man. You know, just to realize that someone is looking to me as a role model, as something that they can look up to. I mean,
which is part of what you wanted to do to go to the NFL.
That's
you
right.
You wanted to go in the NFL because you wanted to elevate your people, and you wanted to do. I know that about you in that story.
Oh,
and to have this happen.
Let me share this. My nephew, Haloti, who's named after me, he has a picture of me at his house when he was still playing in high school, at Highland High School. He says, you know, there's a picture of me, playing football at the Utah, and he says, "This is my uncle. He didn't make it to the NFL, but I will." And all that took was for me to start playing football, and his dreams started to come, and he wanted to get into the NFL, and he had that picture everywhere he went. He had that picture. This is my uncle who I'm named after. He didn't make it to the NFL, but I will. That's Haloti Ngata.
Man, that's a great story. Yeah. That's a great story. He's named after good stock. I'll tell you that much. I've known you for many years. You've been a stand-up guy. We've been, good friends, and I think what I'm hearing from you is that, however you start off in life, you grow up and you figure out where you're at, and you step with purpose, you step with integrity, because there are kids actually, because that for me, I hear that's an aha moment right there.
Absolutely.
The kid says that he looks like us, he understands us.
Yeah.
Freak.
I'll tell you another aha moment for me was that, I got to get married young. And because I got married young, I was still playing at the University of Utah. I'll tell you what, when you have someone else that you're held accountable to, man, I studied harder, I practiced harder, I played harder, I did everything harder, because there was someone else that I loved and I needed to take care of. And so, man, I'm not saying get married young, but get married to someone that you know that you're going to love enough to be able to provide. Or fall in love,
young. Falling in love too is about the same thing. I'm just saying it's like a rocket fuel. It's another level. Well, let's just say this. Let me go back to your basic statement. When you are responsible for the life of another, it does take on a whole different responsibility.
That's right.
You lean into it. Your natural instincts kick in. They just do. I will say, on behalf of all the parents and the families that have had kids come through the school, because if they're coming through the school, that means they need help, right? They were coming to you. That means you were there. How good, how amazing for them, the students and the families, to come to a place and encounter someone who gives a crap.
Yeah.
Who gave a crap about the job and about the kids. So on behalf of the families, thank you. Thank you for taking care of our kids.
Something else that's still, it's still, a lot of people's minds still think that Polynesians are not administrators, are not teachers. Here's an example. We had the back to school night, and my assistant principal at the time was Caucasian, and so they walked, we had a lot of the parents walk in. They were, parents of color. Yeah. They walked in and said, "Hi, principal." Hi, principal, to the Palangi guy that was there. Yeah. And then, the Palangi guy said, "No, I'm not the principal." And they said, "Who's the principal?" "He's over there cooking."
Nah.
He's over there cooking for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that stereotype still happens, and so that's something we're still fighting.
Yeah.
We still have to work, twice as hard, and so don't make it as an excuse, of not being able to get there, and use our color as an excuse not to get there. We just work.
It happens.
We just work.
Forward. Let's just keep pushing.
Just use it, learn it, grow from it, and get there, and just do it. Just do it. I love Nike's slogan. Just do it.
Just do it. Let me ask you this in closing. What is a piece of advice that you would leave for students as they're making their way, especially the Pacific Islander student here in America? What's some advice you would give them? And then some advice for parents and then also teachers, because we are foreigners in the country. That's right. Not ours, and we're trying to assimilate to Western culture and Western civilization. What kind of advice would you offer students, parents, and teachers?
Yep. For the students is, believe in yourself. Believe that you're a lot smarter than you think. Don't let anybody else tell you their opinion of you, and don't let their opinion be your reality. Just believe and find that education is one of the ways that you can get out of the ghetto, or do something better for yourself. And then just know that the parents want you to be better than them. And that's how you can show your love for your parents and for your teachers and and your whole family, is for you to be a great student and do something with yourself and for your life, so you can be able to one day return what they've done for you, whether it be monetary, whether it be money, whether it be love, whether it be whatever that might look like for you. And so for the parents, man, get involved with the school. Get involved with the school, whether it be through the PTA, Parent Teacher Association. Get involved with their, when they have the parent teacher conferences. Be alert, be aware of what's happening with your kids in school. Talk to the teachers, talk to administration, find out what more you can do, and then follow the directives and directions of what the teachers are asking you to do. Reading, because that covers all the core subjects. There's reading in math, there's reading in science, there's reading in social studies. Reading in language arts is the best thing that you can do with your kids. And be interested in what the kids are doing. And then for teachers, man, build that relationship with the kids to the point where they don't want to let you down because how much they care about you. Know exactly what it is that the kids are interested in, and find out the best way they learn. There's a book that I read, and the question is asked in the book, what is it about me that you can't teach? Yes, and the answer should always be nothing. I can always teach you, but you got to find out how they learn. Auditory, experiences, experiential, whatever it takes. Find out what that is, and then do that for the kids.
Before we have you plug your business, because the bottom line is we could use sponsors on this show. Anyway, just kidding. Before we get to plugging your company and anything that you'd like to plug, we always like to end with a fun question. If you were to be a fruit, what kind of fruit would you be and why?
Man, watermelon.
Wow, that was pretty quick. Wow. Why watermelon? Look,
big and juicy.
Not the juicy. Hey. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining. Let's plug your company. Maybe people are looking for jobs. I don't know if you guys are hiring right now. If there's any careers available through what you're doing with, what would you like to plug?
Man, absolutely. My wife is looking for positions. Whether it be a family consultant where you're working with the foster families. We're looking for mentors, which is a tracker that works directly with the kids, and you're a mentor. And so the company is called Go Givers Family Services, and after the book Go Givers. Mm-hmm. And so if you want to be able to contact her at 801-403-0033. 801-403-0033. And her name is Noah. It's like Noah's Ark, except it's N-O-A.
N-O-A.
Yep.
Oh, actually, I do have one more question. Does the TCG get royalties from everybody that throws teas up?
Man.
Y'all should think about that, man. Anybody that throws teas, we got to tax them. Sorry, just throwing it out there. All right?
That is, man, we should. We're going to find a way to get that done.
The founding member. I'm just kidding. Loti, thank you so much for joining us.
Appreciate you, Big Budah.
Now, we have a 2-hour special. This concludes our first part. If it ends, don't worry. We're going to start a new session because we're bringing on the guys from Scrumptious Dance Entertainment Group. That's coming up next. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for our guest and our very good friend, Haloti Moala Liava. Hang on tight. We'll be right back.
Sweet. Man.
Yeah. Yo, what up, y'all? Sending a massive shout out to everyone loving the song, loving the collaboration, and big respect to the legend and creators of this song right here. Curtis Mayfield in the impressions, to the techniques, to Dennis Brown, to the late great Heavy D. Rest in peace, we love you. Yeah. Listen. Queen Majesty, may I speak to thee? So much I'd long to speak to you alone. Truly I agree, yeah, I'm not of your society. come around. Without your money, so I'm a king without a crown. You're outside night, that's why you're doctor. I'll be riding your water, you're my lifetime partner. Better go do you proper, no I'm not imposter. Just not gonna see, no, you're my queen of the sea. Yeah, just a minstrel. I was just so far apart. Royal queen, I see love in your eyes. Yeah, yeah, your district.
Yeah.
Now you're queen, you're so pretty and fine. Every night and day your body step on my mind. More than one of a million, 'cause you're one of a kind.